There is a door, but most never notice it. There is a key, but few ever search for it. And there is a strength already within you, waiting to rise the moment you choose to awaken it. Welcome to the quiet center of your personal power. This is not merely a lesson. It is a remembering, a reawakening of something timeless, long muffled beneath the noise of modern life. You may have been taught that manifestation is wishful thinking, a matter of luck or chance. But that's only part of the picture. True manifestation isn't about asking the universe for more. It's about becoming the very energy of what you desire. And to do that, you must attune yourself to the subtle principles that guide unseen energies. Not as rigid laws, but as sacred rhythms woven into the fabric of reality. In ancient temples lost to time, whispers spoke of a hidden current, not of water, but of pure intention. Mystics of Egypt, sages of Tibet, and seers from the Vedic plains, each shared a truth, cloaked in different symbols. As within, so without. As above, so below. To them, this was more than metaphor. It was a mystical blueprint for understanding the self and the universe. The energy held within, your thoughts, emotions, and intentions, was believed to influence the space around you. Just as one tuning fork can affect the tone of another, consciousness, they said, could shape experience. Dr. Joe Dispenza, a proponent of mind-body practices, refers to this harmony as coherence, a state where the mind and heart enter rhythmic alignment, opening the door to transformation. In this light, manifestation is not mere wishful thinking. It becomes an intentional practice of aligning your inner world with the energy you wish to receive. You were conditioned to react, as if life was a movie already written, and you were just along for the ride. But what if the world you see is simply echoing the patterns you carry within? What you feel deeply, hold consistently, and repeat with emotion. That's what life reflects back. Not through mysticism, but through the subtle interplay between mind, body, and the energy that surrounds us. Consider this. When Tibetan monks chant mantras each day, they aren't pleading for favors. They're tuning their internal harmony, aligning their inner world with something greater. Nikola Tesla once spoke of energy, frequency, and vibration as the keys to understanding the universe. Whether poetic or profound, his words continue to inspire seekers across disciplines. And perhaps there's truth in this idea. You don't draw life toward you based on want alone. You draw it through the resonance of who you are. If manifestation is so simple, why does it so often feel out of reach? Because there are three subtle energetic blocks, barriers that many are never taught to see. 1. Mental static. Your mind is surrounded by noise. Endless scrolling, constant comparison, unresolved inner chatter. When your internal world is noisy, your energetic signal becomes scrambled, like trying to tune into a radio station in a storm. The signal is there, but the interference is louder. Solution: meditative stillness, focused journaling. These practices help clarify your signal, refining your inner broadcast so it harmonizes with the world around you. 2. Emotional fragmentation. You desire success, but fear failure. You long for love, but carry shame. This internal split creates confusion in your emotional signal. Many spiritual traditions suggest the universe doesn't respond to spoken words alone, but to the coherence of your emotional field. Solution: shadow work, not as a form of punishment, but as inner purification. As Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." 3. Energetic drainage. This is the most subtle block and the most overlooked. When your vital life energy is dispersed through overstimulation, compulsive habits, and lack of energetic focus, your ability to manifest weakens. That's why ancient mystics, warriors, and monks practiced fierce discipline. They knew energy is currency. Waste it, and you dilute your creative force. Solution: traditional practices of energy refinement, breath work, cold immersion, fasting under safe and intentional guidance, sacred retention practices. These ancient methods replenish the energy center that fuels your manifestation potential. Once the inner blocks begin to dissolve, something shifts. You stop chasing outcomes, and they start moving toward you. You become magnetic, but not with charm or persona, with clarity, with alignment. This magnetism is the absence of contradiction in your energy, a signal that flows without noise. In ancient schools of Egypt and Greece, initiates were taught, when the inner temple is in harmony, the outer world begins to reflect it. We see echoes of this in the lives of extraordinary figures. Leonardo da Vinci, fusing science and art into living geometry. Rumi, whose verses pulled the soul into divine rhythm. Bruce Lee, reminding us, don't think, feel. They didn't force the world to change. They cultivated their internal state, and the world responded. Manifestation is not passive. It is a creative alignment of three core elements: thought, emotion, frequency. When these align, your inner world gains coherence, and your actions begin to reflect that clarity. Let me show you how. Thought is the architect. It gives shape, direction, and structure. A mind without focused thought is like a ship without a compass, adrift in stormy waters. In ancient Hermetic texts, thought was seen as the divine seed. As the Kybalion says, all is mind, the universe is mental. But thought alone is only the blueprint. Emotion is the fuel. It brings life to thought. Without emotion, thought remains abstract, lacking momentum. What energies empower this process? Gratitude, desire, stillness, love. These emotions bring intensity and presence to our vision. Mystics, artists, and monks across cultures knew this well. Emotion speaks the language of the soul. Frequency is the rhythm you sustain. Your body doesn't just hold ideas. It reflects patterns. When thought and emotion harmonize, you move through the world with aligned intention. This isn't magic, it's resonance. Rituals, breathwork, chants, they were tools for grounding and focusing this resonance, not to control reality, but to become deeply attuned with it. Here lies the hidden trap. Many attempt to create change from a place of inner conflict. They seek abundance, but feel unworthy. They long for love, but carry old fear. They crave freedom, but hold guilt. The outer results reflect the inner baseline, not as punishment, but as resonance. It's not about blame. It's about coherence. Even deeply spiritual people can feel stuck, because what they want and what they believe aren't synchronized. This is where ancient wisdom and modern psychology meet. To live a new reality, you must begin thinking, acting, and feeling like the version of you who already lives it. Some call this future self-alignment. Others describe it as behavioral conditioning. In ancient circles, it was practiced through ritual. In modern neuroscience, through visualization and state priming. You don't wait to become aligned. You train for it. You embody the future until it becomes the present. Let me tell you of those who seem to touch the hidden layers of life. Rasputin, the mystic of Tsarist Russia, became a force behind royal decisions, not by title or power, but through an uncanny command of presence, silence, and intention. Pythagoras, founder of ancient mystery schools, believed numbers and vibration held the key to reality. His students were said to meditate deeply on geometric forms, training focus as a way to tune into higher truths. Milarepa, the Tibetan yogi, lived in solitude among the mountains. Through years of inner cultivation, stories say, his presence radiated warmth even in snowbound caves. Nikola Tesla, a man of genius and vision, once said, "My brain is only a receiver. In the universe there is a core from which we obtain knowledge." What connected them all? They were not just thinkers. They were practitioners. They refined their inner world until it shaped the way they moved through the outer one. And this is your invitation: to move from reaction to resonance, to align your life not just with thought, but with focused presence. True manifestation isn't about waiting for permission. It's about living the signal before the world echoes it back. So how do you begin? You must bridge intention with embodiment, embedding the signal of your vision into breath, thought, and action. This is where timeless practices meet modern understanding of the nervous system and attention. Here's a reimagined version of what mystery schools once taught, adapted into a practice for today. Step 1. Stillness before creation. Each morning, before the noise of the world enters, sit, close your eyes, breathe, slow, deep, rhythmic. Your breath becomes the conductor of your internal state. Let stillness settle in until time begins to dissolve. Step 2. See it, feel it, embody it. In this sacred quiet, visualize your desired reality, not as a dream, but as your current experience. See through its eyes, hear its sound, move through its atmosphere. Then, stir the emotions that match that state: gratitude, clarity, certainty. This practice aligns your inner world with the version of you already living that life. Step 3. Speak with intention. Words shape attention. This is why sacred traditions speak through chant, mantra, and prayer. Now speak your vision aloud, not as a wish, but as a clear intention anchored in presence. I move with clarity and purpose. My energy builds what others cannot yet see. Let the words shape your mindset, not to convince reality, but to align your focus. Step 4. Live the signal. Now step into alignment. Ask yourself, if I already were this version of me, how would I speak, breathe, walk, decide? Living out of sync disrupts your growth. Living in alignment strengthens your coherence. This isn't pretending. It's the practice of becoming. Now listen closely. There is a structure behind all manifestation, hidden in plain sight. Mystery schools hinted at it. They passed it through symbols, rituals, and deep inner work. What you're about to hear is a decoded framework, not of superstition, but of alignment. There are 5 levels, and to move through them, you don't just think, you align. 1. The realm of thought. This is where creation begins. It starts in the mind, ideas, vision, direction. But without movement, these remain imagination. At this level, your desires are dreams, not signals. You visualize freedom, love, success. But the world remains the same, for now. 2. The realm of emotion. When thought is charged with emotion, momentum begins. Emotion gives thought a pulse. It becomes magnetic, alive. But there's a trap here. If your emotion is mixed, hope and fear, joy and doubt, the signal becomes scattered. 3. The realm of identity. Here is where things shift. You no longer just want the vision. You begin to become the version of you who lives it. Your decisions, your speech, your posture begin to align. You can't carry the old story and live a new one. You cannot be the captive and the creator at the same time. 4. The realm of action. Aligned action is not hustle, it's transmission. You're not forcing, you're flowing. Even when you can't see the result yet, you act as if it's already unfolding. This is precision, grounded in trust. Like an archer releasing the arrow. You know it lands before it hits. 5. The realm of surrender. This is the highest layer. You let go, not because you doubt, but because you trust the alignment is working. This is where the wise go silent, where the focused breathe deep before the leap, where the artist steps back and lets the work speak. Letting go is not quitting, it is completing the loop. Surrender is not weakness. It is the final signal of strength. You might wonder, if manifestation is real, why do results sometimes stall? Because subtle patterns, emotional, energetic, even unconscious, can create internal interference. Let's look at 3 of the most common disruptors. 1. The scarcity imprint, formed early in life, often reinforced by cultural and personal experiences. It creates the belief, there isn't enough. You're not worthy. This isn't for you. This isn't just mindset, it becomes a subtle energetic pattern. Until addressed, it can block the very flow you're trying to cultivate. 2. Emotional inconsistency. You might meditate in the morning and feel centered. But if by noon you're overwhelmed or doubting, that fluctuation can scramble your signal. Consistency matters. Just like tuning into a frequency, you must hold it to receive clearly. 3. Inner resistance to receiving. Sometimes, a deeper part of us hesitates. More abundance can mean more visibility, more responsibility. It's not weakness, it's human. But unless this resistance is met with compassion and clarity, it can slow your growth. When you understand and gently transform these patterns, your path begins to open in powerful, aligned ways. There's another layer to manifestation, often overlooked. Symbolism. Why did ancient cultures carve spirals, triangles, and eyes into their temples and altars? Because symbols speak to the subconscious. They reach parts of us beyond words, evoking deep, intuitive responses. You can work with them today. Place meaningful symbols in your space. A spiral for growth. An eye for awareness. A flame for inner strength. These aren't just visuals. When paired with intention, they can serve as anchors, reminders of who you are becoming. They don't change reality on their own, but they help align your internal world with the path you're walking. Modern neuroscience is beginning to echo what the mystics long intuited. The brain may not originate thought, but interpret it. Not the source, but the signal reader. Neuroscientist Dr. Carl Pribram once proposed a theory that the brain could function like a holographic interface, decoding impressions from a deeper field of reality. In many ancient traditions, this field was not studied under microscopes, but felt in stillness. When monks chant, when mystics fall into deep silence, they are not merely visualizing. They are, perhaps, attuning to an inner rhythm that echoes something beyond the physical. Manifestation, then, may not be the creation of new matter, but the alignment of mind and body, with a dimension of potential already present. The pineal gland, revered in spiritual texts, has long been seen as a gateway, not because of its biology alone, but because of what it represents. Focus, breath, stillness, opening perception to the unseen. When this awareness is felt in harmony with the heart's own rhythm, you don't just imagine reality, you begin to embody it. And this is why the ancients moved their bodies with prayer, why they honored breath, tone, and silence. Because the body is not a shell, it is the altar, and your intention is the flame upon it. If you truly realized the power of your inner world, you would stop being ruled by the outer one. And so, you are conditioned to scroll instead of sit, to consume instead of create, to question your voice instead of speak with it. This isn't mere distraction. It is a quiet unraveling of focus. Because the more divided your attention, the dimmer your signal becomes. Ancient Taoist masters trained warriors to hold a single thought for hours. Why? Because a thought held in stillness gains weight. It begins to shape perception, to influence outcomes. When your energy is scattered, your intention loses its shape. But when gathered and focused, it becomes a force that reshapes your path. You are not powerless, but your power responds to how you wield it. As you align with your inner current, a quiet shift begins. No longer does the world dictate your emotional state. You begin choosing how it touches you. You begin to witness synchronicities so precise they feel composed by design. People and opportunities arriving in divine timing. Peace that flows not from outcomes, but from inner sovereignty. A magnetism others sense, yet cannot name. You move away from striving and into embodiment. You speak less, yet receive more. You act with clarity, and your actions carry powerful resonance. This is not fantasy. It reflects timeless energetic principles in motion. And those who've walked the ancient way, from Pythagoras to Padmasambhava, the Essenes to the Stoics, have revealed this truth again and again. Now breathe. Set aside what you've been taught about manifestation. Release the rigid methods. Let go of the vision boards, the pressured affirmations, the scripted visualizations. And instead, remember this: your breath, your attention, your emotion, your intention, your identity. These are not mere techniques. They are inner instruments of alignment. And when they resonate in harmony, life begins to respond. There are no gatekeepers here. No permission slips to wait for. You came into this world with the code already within you. You're not learning it. You're remembering it. And now that you remember, what will you choose to become? From this moment on, every word you speak carries frequency. Every thought you hold becomes a signal. Every feeling you cultivate radiates a pulse into the field. So move with reverence. Think with clarity. Feel with sovereignty. If this message resonated with you, comment below. I manifest from within. The field reflects what you offer. And now, so do you.